6 minutes a day, my butt.
It's time to get your arms in shape and feel proud of the way you look. Get the Shakeweight today.
Or no. Okay, with the Shakeweight, I'm going to demonstrate the basic movement that they have is with the biceps and triceps engaged here. Basic misconception is not an isometric contraction because it's moving. So what you're doing is you're doing a whole bunch of tiny concentric contractions with your biceps and your triceps. The major target for this exercise is not to build muscle mass, but to build muscle tone. So instead of doing larger weights with less reps, you're doing a lot of reps with very little weight. The advantage with this equipment is what I consider increased force with increased repetition. Like you can go slow and you're working. It's only 1.5 pounds, but when you increase the movement, increase the shaking, you're actually increasing the amount of force working on opposite sides of your arm. Inertial mass, physics, and all that, blah, blah, blah. So the faster you shake it, the more you're actually working your arms. With these tiny concentric contractions, you're actually doing a lot more to engage your arms. And that's the basic target for this. Women with, the flabby triceps, the waving arms that they want to get rid of. So you do a lot of this, these exercises. There's a bunch of different variations. You can do it standing, where you want to focus on your core. Because with this movement, you don't want to be moving too far back or too far forward. But people with back problems, or if you decide to bring this to the office, stay at home, you can have it doing sitting. You're not working too much up here, and you're just working on your arms. Things I like or dislike about it. This one's designed specifically for women. Why does it have to be for women? Well, there was a video for guys, but it's a separate piece of equipment. This one's only $19.95. Things I dislike about it, it's mechanical. Things are gonna break. I'm not sure what the design is. I did not pull up the patent for it. I don't know how it's made. There's 2 ways that they could have made it. One is hydraulic. Be able to have the weight suspended in a fluid, so that way it moves. Another way would be spring, where the spring forces would act on opposite sides of the weight. 2 disadvantages. If it's hydraulic, you could end up with a leak and you would have a shake weight that doesn't shake. Or with springs, over time, springs do get weaker, so you won't have the type of spring action you would have as when you first bought it. Are there more benefits than problems? Well, it depends. If you want to go with the basic benefit of you can get sleeker arms in just 6 minutes a day, you're going to have to do a lot more than just shake your arms for 6 minutes a day to be able to build that up. I mean, you could do it, it'll take you longer. And if that's the only benefit you get from this equipment, I see a lot more problems that you can get. Let's say you get a faulty equipment. I know it's guaranteed for life, but how many times are you going to keep sending it back? What if the company goes bankrupt?
Yeah, exactly.
There's also other things that could go wrong. Injury. I mean, repetitive motion, carpal tunnel syndrome, you develop arthritis. There's a whole bunch of other things, tendonitis. So there's a lot of precautions going into this equipment. Obviously, you'd want to do the stretches before you get into this. Is it appropriate for everybody? Just for women. And obviously it's targeted towards, middle age to later, from 30 to 40 years, they want to be able to fit in that dress all nice.
Exactly. Why do you gotta get that? Just for that? I mean.
Exactly. I mean, there's a whole bunch of other exercises you could do other than this. It's not appropriate for all abilities. People with arthritis or have shoulder, arm problems, wrist problems. It's not a rehab tool, it's an exercise tool. I wouldn't recommend it to a whole bunch of people. best body position to get the most out of this workout is standing. That way you engage a whole bunch more than just your arms. There's a good amount of variation as how they're showing different exercises where you do trunk twists or single arm, but you really don't need just the shake weight to do that. You could have done it with a whole bunch of other things.
Yeah, you can use weights.
Um,
You can use weights, I mean, but you don't have to go heavy. You don't have to go heavy for that.
You can use regular weights. You don't have to use this thing.
I mean, it's just so, to me, it's just a waste of money because what if the thing breaks and then you can't, I don't know what the company is, you might not be able to return it. And
Could you perform this activity anywhere? I would prefer you perform it at home. I wouldn't recommend bringing this to a gym or office. Unless you don't mind looking foolish, but in-home gym I would recommend. There are so much other things that would be better than this. You could use dumbbells, resistance bands, or you don't even have to use any equipment at all. Just doing basic exercises. 1995 for 6 minutes a day. Honestly, I don't believe it's worth it. Any other questions?
What was the men's one? You said it was a different equipment. What was the men's one?
Oh, men's one.